Palace is the original seat of government for the colony of North Carolina. It was finished in 1770 by the royal governor, William Tryon. It was the seat of government through 1775. Here at Tryon Palace, we dress for a general day in the 1770s. You're going to see short gowns and petticoats on the ladies, and for the gentlemen, breeches, waistcoats, and frock coats. Most of the short gowns and shifts and shirts would be tea garments because you would actually be able to take them apart and sew them back into a rectangle. You have the understructure for the women. Stays was the term that they used in this time period. They were fit so that they did break at the waist and you could bend very easily at the waist, and it pushed the bust up, and it also supports the back. That to me is the most common misconception, is that the stays were tight-laced. And this was not tight-laced. They did not have to cinch themselves into things. It was just like putting on a bra. For the men, you're seeing a lot of width in the jackets so that they could get on and off of horses. We have breeches that are cut very wide in the crotch so that they can also get on and off of horses. That was very important because a lot of long distance travel was being done on horseback. You're seeing a lot of what was really happening in the time reflected in their clothes. Basic characteristics would be natural fibers. Most often you would see linen and wool. The quality of the wool made a difference. You would homespin it yourself and it would be very rough, as opposed to the fine garments that you would see on the upper class. You would often have middle and lower class people saving up enough for silk ribbons and silk trims on their garment. The upper class, they could have whole garments made out of silk. This was by no means fast fashion. It was very sustainable. If you had gotten a gown from your mother or your grandmother or the mistress of the house, if you were enslaved, they would often be handed down and reworked and returned into something else. Until that fell apart, it then became rags, it then became charcloth, and they used it until it just burnt up. There's a lot more costuming and historical clothing research being done. I keep up with podcasts. I go to the art of the time, to print work of the time, to find out what the average person was wearing. Right now I have 13 volunteers that come in. They all have different projects that they are working on. This one may be on a shirt, this one may be on a sackback gown, and then occasionally we have our interpreters from the site come in to get garments repaired or replaced. Tryon's first year here at the Palace, what he had for the opening party was the grand illumination, is what he called it. And so all sorts of candles and lights and reflective surfaces. We had 2 actors in the entrance hall of the palace portraying Governor and Mrs. Tryon. And you can see there are little mirrors on his waistcoat as well as some sequins. And then we took those same mirrors and did a little work on hers with the sequins. Their excellencies were resplendent in these wonderful clothes. The green on the end is a caraco. That was a garment that has some structure in the front, and so a lot of the ladies have chosen to go into a caraco as they do their palace tours. This mannequin actually is a personal mannequin of mine. Her name is Drunken Susie, and she is called Drunken Susie because she always leans. Maintaining the accuracy is very important. It really makes a difference in how you walk, how you sit. Having historically accurate garments, it actually puts you in the 18th century rather than just pretending to be in the 18th century.